Hi, I'm Kate Shumate with The Christian Working Woman, and today we're talking about what really matters, trusting in the Lord in every season. One of my favorite passages of all time is Jeremiah 17, 7-8. I love it so much that my husband and I asked our pastor to use it in our wedding ceremony. To me, it's one of the most beautiful pictures of what it looks like to live a life rooted in Christ, trusting in Him in every season. It says, "But blessed are those who trust in the Lord and have made the Lord their hope and confidence. They are like trees planted along a riverbank with roots that reach deep into the water. Such trees are not bothered by the heat or worried by long months of drought. Their leaves stay green and they never stop producing fruit." I've read that verse so many times, but recently I dug into why this picture of a tree by a stream is so powerful. And it turns out the science behind it makes the truth of this verse even more meaningful. You see, a tree planted by a riverbank is set up for long-term health. Why? Well, because it has a constant source of water, not just when it rains, but all the time. Even during dry seasons, the roots can still draw moisture from the ground. The tree doesn't depend on weather to survive. This summer, my husband and I traveled to Zion National Park in Utah. I am a Midwest girl through and through, so landing in the desert and driving toward the park was a shock. Where was the green? Where was the life? And was there any water anywhere? Toward the end of our trip, though, we hiked on a trail called the Left Fork Subway. You start at the top of the canyon where there's only dry brush and red rock, but after about 1,500 feet of descent, you make it to the bottom of the canyon and hike along a river to reach the subway. And there it was, all the green. Even in the desert, in the hottest part of the year, there were trees and plants that were vibrantly green. This is the kind of tree described in Jeremiah 17, and this is what happens when we trust in God. Life doesn't have to be perfect for us to thrive. Our strength doesn't come from our circumstances. It comes from being rooted in living water in Him. But it's not just about water. It's about how deep the roots can go. Trees near a steady water source can send their roots down deep into the soil. That gives them stability when the wind picks up and access to nutrients that shallow roots will never reach. Deep roots mean the tree can stand firm and keep growing even in tough conditions. And the same is true for us. When we keep trusting God day after day, our faith grows deeper. We become more grounded. We're less shaken by fear or pressure or uncertainty. I don't know if you're experiencing a season like this where the wind seems to be trying to knock you over. Maybe you've experienced this in the past. When we allow our roots to grow deep into the Father's love, we experience a kind of stability that can never happen otherwise. And here's something I love. Jeremiah says that this tree has green leaves even in the heat and no worries in a drought. That's not just poetic. Trees with deep roots near water really do stay green even when others dry out. They keep producing fruit even when everything else around them looks barren. When we stay connected to God, we can keep living with purpose and peace even when life gets hard. We don't have to fear the heat. We don't have to panic in the drought because our roots go deep and our source is unshakable. So let me ask you, where are your roots reaching? Are you drawing strength from the stream of God's presence and promises? Or are you trying to survive on Netflix, social media, or maybe even friends with the wrong perspective on life? Trusting in the Lord, it's not always flashy, but it's steady, it's strong, it's fruitful, and it's the kind of thing that really matters.